the depth alone isn't enough, and performance doesn't exist in isolation.
Are you a fitness-loving foodie? Then Defy Snacks is for you. Defy offers real, high-quality chocolate you love, combined with functional ingredients, giving you as much as 26 grams of protein per bag, so you can be both a little bit bad and a little bit good at the same time. As a female-owned brand, Defy dedicates a portion of its profits to other women-owned businesses. Currently sold in the US, you can find us on snacks.com and follow us on social at Defy Snacks.
Hello and welcome to the Shiny New Object podcast. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative. We are the fastest way to make, scale and test your performance ads. And this is a podcast about the future of data-driven marketing, a place where we live. And I get the pleasure and the privilege to interview someone from our industry every week or so about their vision for the future of data-driven marketing. So I'm on a call now with Nevra Yagmur, who is digital performance manager at the BT Group. And I know this podcast is going to be great because it's the second time we tried to do it. The first time wasn't good enough for Nevra. So we need to do this again. I was like, okay, let's do it again. So I'm very happy to be doing this for the second time. I'm very much looking forward to it. But Nevra, for anyone who doesn't know who you are and what you do, could you give us a bit of background?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for agreeing to do it again, second time round. Appreciate it. So my name is Nevra. So I have, I'm a digital marketer. So I have over 15 years of experience in digital marketing and media. So I am originally from Turkey. So my background in degree is public finance and law as an undergrad in Turkey. But I had no interest in becoming either a lawyer or a banker. So I've always been interested in marketing. Then when I came to London, I wanted to do my master's in marketing. And so that's where my eyes were focused on my current working path. So it's been a privilege to work in marketing throughout my entire career in London. So I'm currently leading the media activity for a broadband brand, PlusNet, as part of BT Group brand, where I'm responsible for driving performance across paid channels and making sure all media investment is proving to be successful.
Fantastic. So thinking back to the last 5 years or so, what new belief or behavior has made you a better data-driven marketer?
Yeah. My background in digital marketing started as a search marketing specialist. So I have been focused a lot more on paid and organic side of, but specifically in search in my core expertise. But naturally, this actually fit me really well, as I'm very naturally detail driven, and I do love details, and I love deep diving into details and identifying patterns and mastering the specific area. But in my current role as I've been working for BT Group for the last 6 years, and my role expanded into overseeing a broader media activity in above the line. And that actually allowed me to realize the depth alone isn't enough, and performance doesn't exist in isolation. And what happens is one channel is heavily influenced by others and everything else, and external factors, as well as all brand activity, upper funnel channels and audience and all the market dynamics. So nothing works in isolation. So also with the advancements in AI, everything is deeply integrated in media platforms. And I think is the most important skill nowadays is to be able to have that bird eye view and have the strategic edge to have a bit of a T-shaped marketeer, as they call, right? That's what everybody is talking about nowadays. is to have the depth in expertise in areas still, but being able to have the strategic, broader horizontal part. Yeah.
So in this kind of changing AI world that I'm going to talk a lot about later, but what's the best bit of practical advice you would give people at this point to become a better data-driven marketer?
Yeah, I guess the part of being data-driven marketer. So the first piece is we all have objectives to get to, right, on our day-to-day work, and so it's to be very clear on these objectives is very clear. So a no-brainer, but sometimes we can go sideways. But so we just need to clear what success looks like from the get-go, and make sure everyone is online on the same KPIs, same goals, everybody is aligned. And secondly, in the whole AI world, everything is changing, as you rightly put. So it's all integrated in our media activities. So the whole manual work of optimization and manual tasks are actually being very automated. And we just need to be able to read what's happening, read the data really well, and let the data guide our decision, and pull that, translating that into an actionable insight. So AI is helping us doing this day to day, in a way, making it a lot faster. So I guess it's important to be curious and open-minded and have this critical thinking, and being able to think out the box is more important than ever nowadays. So yeah, being so not being afraid to ask questions. I guess we gotta love the process of learning every day, because things are changing massively at a very high speed. Technology, platforms, and the behavior, most importantly, are at a fast speed, changing day to day. So yeah, staying curious, thinking out the box, and not taking anything at a face value, and constantly being inquisitive is key.
So we're going to move on to your shiny new object now, which I'm fairly sure that no one's heard of, right? And there's good reason for that. It's not a bad thing, just good reason for that. It's called podsome. Podsome. So Nevra, what is podsome?
That's my shiny new object. So, well, not so new anymore. For the last 3 to 4 months, ago. So I came out with this idea. I'm a massive podcast fan. So I do listen to several different podcasts, but then I work in this demanding media role, and time flies, and then some podcasts are quite long and insight heavy, and I end up not being able to keep up. So I keep finding myself falling behind on some of the content I genuinely am curious about. So in order to solve this problem, so I've been manually pulling the transcripts myself and summarizing it through ChatGPT or Copilot, and emailing them to me as summaries. As I go to work, I used to read them. And then it's at some point, I actually thought about, why am I doing this manually? So while AI is all about automation and, taking away the repetitive task. So then I thought about getting a domain, podsome.co.uk, and I'm nowhere near yet finishing it, but it's almost like 70% there. So it is about AI powered summaries for your favorite podcasts, so delivered to your inbox. So in a nutshell, so if anyone is interested, so you just go to the platform and then select your favorite podcast and provide your email address, and then you end up receiving a key highlighted summary of your favorite podcast episode. It's all automated. So, yeah, that's what I have been. It's been my hobby projects and shiny new object.
So tell me, what's your back end? How does it work? What's your flow? How much is manual versus automated now?
Well, so the whole idea is to turn it into a full stream, automation. Nothing is meant to be manual because it's everybody is talking about the whole vibe coding. So I'm by no means I'm not a software engineer, but it's all based on this vibe coding concept, which is the whole idea of AI is replacing the whole idea of writing code line by line. I'm not a coder, but in the meantime, so I'm using the usual AI platforms to help me write the code at the back end. And the whole idea is to automate the whole process. So the email summaries are to be completed by OpenAI, and then I'm literally using several tools to connect the bridge in between.
Yeah, I really want to know. Sorry, I'm being nerdy about this. How have you connected it all together, right? So I'm a user. I want to listen to Freakonomics and This American Life or whatever. And then what happens? Like, talk me through it. This is very interesting to me.
Right. Okay. So the idea is, so you go to the website and you select your favorite podcast, and then you provide your email address, and that's it. So that's the only action.
But then what happens at the back end? I want to know your stack. Is
right.
Yeah.
And once I complete the project, you will end up getting the latest episode of your selected podcast summaries in your inbox.
I understand the products. I'm trying to work out I'm looking at it as a vibe coder myself, right? So what is the tech? What is the stack to deliver me my email?
Okay. It is WordPress. So simply, I got myself a domain name, and then, the user interface is built through WordPress. And then the backend technology is using a couple of sources. One is OpenAI for summary building, and then the other is the Zapier. So the automation tools, so it doesn't have to be one or another. So to help bridge the summary and the automation email to be sent to the requester. So simple as that. So I don't know if that
So NPR drop a new episode.
Yeah.
And Zapier is looking for when that episode drops.
Well, there are actually other APIs in between. So I'm using a third-party APIs for me to be able to source the podcast and host the podcast. Not that I'm hosting, but a user will be able to search on my website. And this is done through a third-party API.
So if one of your users goes, "I want this podcast," then the API will go and find probably an RSS feed or something, probably, and then when the RSS feed pings, it goes, "Go and fetch that audio, do a transcript," and then once the latest transcript's been done by ChatGPT, Zapier then ping whatever. MailChimp, whatever.
Exactly, or several marketing tools, automation tools that allows you to bridge these gaps. So it's literally, it's like 3 bridges in my mind. So I'm still working on it.
Because I think that's what I've learned from doing I haven't vibe coded when I did the first version of this podcast, and now I don't do anything else. It's quite worrying. And what I've realized is that I think we're moving towards an internet made of experiences as opposed to platforms. So if you look at the big successful internet businesses, they're all platforms that have multiple uses, right? So whether that's, my mum's on Netflix, I'm on Netflix, but we watch completely different stuff. My mum's on Amazon, I'm on Amazon, but we buy completely different stuff. Same with Facebook, same with Instagram, same with any of the big players, right?
Yeah.
They're like a one size fits all thing, right? And we all draw from it and pay it, right? Whereas now, like, I'm sure there is a tool out there that does a similar thing to you-ish, but it probably does a bunch of other stuff that you don't want to pay for, right? So what you can now do is just vibe code. Well, like, all I want is to be able to like transcribe and create summaries of podcasts and send them on email. You're building an experience for an audience of people like you, right? You're not looking for mega scale. You're not looking to, serve me and my mom and whoever.
Yeah.
So I think it's really that's what I'm realizing is it's not about trying to create a huge thing. It's about create a tiny thing that's really valuable.
It is, and it's also I'm totally, as I said, I'm such a curious personality, so I wonder about how a lot. So the question of hows interests me, and then actually, it doesn't take too much of a nuance to be able to build. It's literally building 3 points together and building a bridge in between what's already existing. So not inventing something from scratch, but it's basing on what's existing, but building in between.
This episode of the Shiny New Object podcast is brought to you in partnership with MadFest. Whether it's live in London or streamed online to the global marketing community, you can always expect a distinctive and daring blend of fast-paced content, startup innovation pitches, and unconventional entertainment from MadFest events. You'll find me causing trouble on stage, recording live versions of this podcast, and sharing a beer with the nicest and most influential people in marketing. Check it out at www.madfestlondon.com. Do you know what I think might be a nice build on your thing? And tell me to shut up. I've just thought of this. It's probably a terrible idea, but I have the same overwhelm as you, right? There's more podcasts that I could ever listen to that I would love. You know what I mean? Even if you listen to one that's really good, you've automatically you've got the opportunity cost of not listening to another podcast at the same time. Whereas if you go, right, I want to be a better dad, which I do. I don't think I'm a bad dad, but I can always be better, right? So I want to be a better dad to my daughter. So therefore, what it could do is know the podcasts that I have listened to. Like I've listened to like How to Be a Good Dad for 6-year-olds or whatever. And now my daughter's 7, nearly 8. You could go, but actually, based on your previous listening and your goals, here's summaries of the podcasts that you should go into. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's a great idea. It's not, but it's taking the context of you, the person, and then you can vibe a little thing to suit that.
Yeah, you're talking a little bit about creating an algorithmic system, isn't it? It's what all the social media and channels are built upon, suggesting a kind of a predictive analysis and looking at the historical data of your usage and prompting what might resonate the most as a next step for you.
Yeah, but based on very specific needs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I also I just want to talk about the fact that when I bumped into you at the conference, it was a few weeks ago. We were talking about how fast AI evolving, and how overwhelming this whole thing, and but then you said something
What did I say?
very interesting, and that got me thinking on the way back. So it was about the whole exhilaration and how we are all getting a little bit digital fatigue and bombarded with information all the time. But actually, what we can do is to use AI, utilize it to generate us real time, in real world experiences. And if literally new ideas arise when we talk or think about the problems we are currently facing. So the current problems we are all facing, we bombarded with lots of information, all living in digital, right? So we are all on our screens most of the time, but the actual world experiences, the immersiveness are becoming a lot more valuable. So on the way back, so you were actually coming up with lots of ideas as we were, I don't know if you realized, but that got me thinking, and I thought actually there's a growing trend nowadays is that people are so thirsty for hands-on experiences, hands-on hobbies, and there's so many activities going on nowadays. I don't know if it's my observation or if it's actually a trend. I don't know, but it's called the analog experiences. People are nowadays valuing a lot more the whole digital well-being movement. So being off-grid and taking hobbies such as knitting to painting or immersing yourself with the nature is becoming a lot more valuable. So I guess I agree with what you said. We can all use AI to create and generate experiences or suggestions, or there could be so many new platforms could come up, around that.
Yeah, because one of the things I moaned a lot about on this podcast in the past is how the efficiency technologies in our lives, like Gmail or Slack or Teams, that they're actually lying to us, really, because what they want you to do is to carry on paying for the service. Like, that is the point of Slack, right? That is the point of Teams. That is the point of Gmail, or like pay for it a different way. All of these efficiency tools are there. They're businesses, right? They're not philanthropic. It's not like the person who invented the spreadsheet. They didn't make any money out of it. They just said, well, it was a gift to the world, and they did it. They may regret that, of course. But you got these tools that are there to keep us addicted to them under the illusion of efficiency, right? I don't know if you use Slack, but I open Slack and I've there's probably 50 messages there. Or I'll open email and it's like some horrific number of emails there to read. Now there was this odd clash of the illusion of efficiency and them needing to make money with my need to work efficiently and being willing to spend money, right? But what changes everything is what you're talking about, which is this is an agentic approach to handling information, that I'm starting to see a world where I don't open email again. I'm starting to see a world where I don't open Slack again. I'm starting to an email where I don't never look at LinkedIn. And I have an agent or a series of agents over the top where I just talk to that, right? So I mean, it's not there. Like, I'm trying to build it, but it doesn't. It falls over and runs through tokens too cool. But I'm curious to know what you think about that.
Yeah, I totally agree, and therefore I kind of limit, not kind of, I purposefully limit the usage of social media, and instead I do things with an intent. So I don't want to lose my agency, because agents are all over the place that are invisible, but it's all integrated behind platforms, and it's quite manipulative, and because it's in media we keep talking about the attention economy. So it's all about, every platform's goal is to get you hooked, longer the better. This is all about how long you spend on each platform. And they all have the same ultimate goal. So I guess knowing this, I am trying to protect myself personally and use my time in with a bit of an intent. So think about what my own priorities are, and then move alongside this. But it's inevitable. So we all exposed to the same platforms, and they're all hooking us on. And they're getting to know us really well, because with ChatGPT and Copilot, we're all chatting to it, and then so they have the whole grasp of how human beings behave, and as a result, our behavior are changing as well, and the way we live our lives. So it's quite a transformative era we're in.
Well, Nevra, unfortunately, we have run over. I could carry on for that hours on this topic. But if someone wants to get in touch with you, where's the best place to do that? And what kind of message will you reply to?
So the best place to get in touch with me is via LinkedIn. So under my name, Nevra Yagmur. And so just reach out. So I'm a passionate marketeer. And someone I love as a person building and creating new things. So reach out if you have or want to explore new ideas or exchange perspectives within search, media, or performance marketing, or AI. In eventual, feel free.
Oh, what an invite. Nevra, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, just before you go, I'd really appreciate it if you could take the time to write a review of the Shiny New Object podcast on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, whatever it's called these days, or whichever podcast provider you use. We're an indie podcast, so it would go a long way for us if you could just share the word and give us a bit of a support on those channels. That would just be fantastic. If you haven't got time, that's also cool. And yeah, if you could tell your colleagues about the podcast, and also, if possible, don't forget to subscribe. And I'd love to hear your feedback. If you'd like to speak on the podcast or be a guest, or you think I'm asking the wrong questions, anything, I'd be super interested to hear what you think. So please email me at tom@automatedcreative.net. That's TOM at, I'm not going to bother spelling it. Anyway, you'll work it out. Thanks so much.